Greetings, folks. You tuned in with Hajbro Hassan, kickboxing teacher, coach from out the East Bay, California, here for another Montu Arts segment. Now, today's topic is going to be discussing comic book characters. Some people might be thinking, hey, comic book characters, they fictional. Yeah, they might be fictional motherfuckers, but guess what? Modern times and history has shown us that even comic book characters have been very inspirational to real life. So, why not on this channel we talk about using the diasporic term Montu, the diasporic term for martial, the Montu Arts themed comic book characters coming up. Onyx Adams. Onyx Adams, she grew up surrounded by gang violence, developing a tough reputation as both a street fighter and a contract killer. Her skills eventually caught the attention of the League of Assassins, who offered her a place among their ranks. After joining the organization, she was brought to one of the monasteries where she was raised and trained under the guidance of the Exalted Master. Onyx spent her years as a veteran member of the League before ultimately leaving that life behind. Choosing to use her abilities for a different purpose, she became a vigilante and frequently crossed paths with heroes such as Green Arrows and Batman. In time, she also became an ally and affiliate of the Birds of Prey. Physically, Onyx has conditioned herself to the level of an Olympic caliber athlete. She is a black American woman with a dark complexion and is typically portrayed with either a shaved head or very short hair. A master martial artist, Onyx is highly skilled in virtually every major fighting discipline with particular expertise in karate, judo, and taekwondo. Much of her advanced combat training came from Lady Shiva during her years with the League of Assassins. Beyond unarmed combat, she is also proficient with a wide range of weapons. Her favorites include the bullwhip, crossbow, ninja stars, and nunchucks, all of which she wields with exceptional precision and effectiveness. Hmm. The Prowler, now known as the Hornet, not to be confused with the current day Prowler, Aaron Davis, the adversary and uncle of Kid Arachnid, that we know as Miles Morales. Hobie Brown was born and raised in the Bronx, New York, as the youngest of 9 children. His father, Tiger Brown, abandoned the family when Hobie was still a baby, leaving his mother devastated, struggling with alcoholism. Years later, Tiger was killed while serving in Cambodia. Around that same time, Hobie's older brother, Abe, who we will discuss later, left New York and returned to San Francisco, where the Brown family originally came from. Abe would eventually become a martial arts expert and a member of the Sons of the Tiger, but his departure left Hobie to fend for himself during some of his most difficult years. After graduating from high school, Hobie Brown found work as a window washer. He was hired largely because his employer wanted to satisfy a hiring quota, and Hobie frequently endured racist remarks and constant distrust from his boss, Eventually, he reached his breaking point and quit in frustration. Hoping to gain attention for his inventions, Hobie incorporated his technological designs into a homemade costume and adopted the identity of the Prowler. As the Prowler, he soon found himself crossing paths with Spider Man. The two clashed several times, but Hobie quickly discovered that he was outmatched by the wall crawler and was ultimately defeated. After being unmasked, Hobie revealed the circumstances that had led him down that path. Expecting to be arrested, he was surprised when Spider Man chose to show him compassion instead. Believing Hobie was more misguided than malicious, Spider Man let him go free. Sensing a connection between their struggles, Peter Parker encouraged Hobie to return to his girlfriend, Mindy McPherson, and leave his life of crime behind. Hobie Brown took that advice to heart. Although he abandoned his career as a costume criminal, he didn't give up using his talents. So instead, he eventually reinvented himself as a vigilante, using his intelligence, inventions, and courage to help others rather than prey on them. Despite his intimidating appearance and high tech gear, the Prowler uses and possesses no superhuman powers. Instead, he relies on his intelligence, athleticism, and specialized equipment to hold his own against far more powerful opponents. His costume features steel tipped gloves capable of digging into concrete and even penetrating stone, allowing him to scale walls and buildings with ease. He also wears specially insulated boots designed to absorb impact, enabling him to survive falls from heights of up to 2 stories without serious injury. Beyond his gadgets, though, Hobie is a capable hand to hand combatant. While not on the level of Marvel's elite martial artists, he is well trained in combat and primarily utilizes Taekwondo, incorporating its powerful kicks, agility, and quick striking techniques into his fighting style. Combined with his inventive equipment and acrobatic mobility, the Prowler is a resourceful and surprisingly dangerous opponent even without superhuman abilities. A. Brown. Abraham Brown grew up on the tough streets of Harlem where learning to defend yourself was often a necessity. After becoming the victim of a hate crime as a young man, A was determined never to be left helpless again. Motivated by that experience, he dedicated himself to studying Kung Fu and quickly proved to be a gifted martial artist. Abe trained at Master Key's martial arts school where he met two fellow students, Lin Sun and Bob Diamond. Although the three became close during their training, they eventually went their separate ways after mastering their respective disciplines. Their paths would cross again following the death of their mentor, Master Key, an event that ultimately led to the formation of the Sons of the Tiger. Abe is also notable as the older brother of the Prowler, who we just discussed, though the two often found themselves following very different paths in life. During his time with the Sons of the Tiger, Abe possessed the left paw of a mystical golden tiger amulet. When combined with the other pieces and activated through the team's oath, the amulet granted their wearers enhanced strength, agility, stamina, and overall physical prowess. Even so, A's reputation as a fighter was never solely dependent on the artifact. Long before receiving its power, he had already established himself as an exceptional martial artist. His reflexes skill were so remarkable that he once caught a bullet with his bare hands, a feat that had become one of the more memorable demonstrations of his abilities. It's also worth noting that the era in which Abe Brown was created. Debuting during the height of America's martial arts craze in the 1970s, the character likely reflects the influence of the popular kung fu films and martial arts culture that captivated audience at the time. Because of this, many fans have viewed Abe as something of a tribute to the pioneering black martial artists of that era, particularly Jim Kelly, whose charisma and success helped make the martial arts more visible to mainstream audiences. Bronze Tiger. Benjamin Turner grew up in the upper middle class black neighborhood in Central City. His life took a dark turn at the age of 10 when he woke up to find a burglar attacking his parents. Acting on instinct, Ben grabbed a carving knife and repeatedly stabbed the intruder until he was dead. Authorities later reported that Ben had seemingly lost control during the incident, and what disturbed them even more was that he appeared to take pleasure in the act. As he got older, Ben became increasingly aware of the anger and violent impulses within him. At 13, he turned to martial arts in hopes of gaining self discipline and control. Instead, he discovered something unsettling. It wasn't just anger driving him, it was the thrill of fighting and hurting others combined with the realization that he was exceptionally talented at it. Before long, Ben drifted into a life of crime, convinced that his future would eventually end in prison or death row. Determined to change his path, Ben left America, traveled the world, studying martial arts under various masters. During his journey, he trained under Master Kirigi, but the experience proved harmful. Kirigi manipulated Ben's emotional turmoil, encouraging the darker aspects of his personality rather than helping him overcome them. Realizing that he was being exploited, Ben left and eventually found a wiser mentor known as O Sensei. Under O Sensei's guidance, Ben learned to channel his anger into a source of focus and strength rather than allowing it to control him. Unfortunately, his troubles were far from over. Ben was eventually captured by the League of Assassins and subjected to intense psychological conditioning. During this period, he adopted the identity of Bronze Tiger, becoming one of the League's deadliest masked assassins. Over time, however, Ben broke free of that influence and began a long journey toward redemption. In the years that followed, Bronze Tiger transformed from assassin to vigilante, dedicating his life to fighting crime rather than serving it. He has frequently worked alongside Batman and has helped take down dangerous threats, including Bane. His past as a government operative and member of the Suicide Squad remains an important part of his history, reflecting the complicated road he traveled to become a hero. Despite having no superhuman metahuman powers, Bronze Tiger is widely regarded as one of the greatest martial artists in the DC universe. Many characters and fans place him among the top tier of hand to hand combatants alongside such legends Lady Shiva. His primary specialty is Taekwondo, but he has mastered numerous fighting styles including Jiu Jitsu, Aikido, Karate, and Kung Fu. His skill is so extraordinary that he has fought on equal footing with some of the world's finest warriors and has even defeated Batman in combat on multiple occasions. In addition to his physical mastery, Bronze Tiger possesses a remarkable degree of chi control. Through intense training and discipline, he can manipulate his life energy to accelerate his body's natural healing process, allowing him to recover from injuries more quickly than the ordinary person. While not a superpower in the traditional sense, this ability further demonstrates the incredible level of mastery he has achieved over both his mind and body.